I want to start with this raid this weekend to rescue these 4 hostages. Do we know how the IDF found out that those 4 were being held in these 2 apartment buildings in Gaza?
Yes, good evening or good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Israel spent a lot of resources, time, energy, and endangered people in order to collect intelligence over a period of quite a few weeks in order to have enough actionable intelligence to allow the special forces that we can see operating now on the screen to allow them to know well enough and in detail enough where the hostages were being held, to devise a plan of how to get there, and then to successfully, thankfully, get in and get them out back to safety, back to Israel.
Yeah, we're looking at video right now. It was just released today. These are the 3 men who were found in one apartment building. A neighboring
Correct.
apartment building about 220 yards away is where Noah, the female hostage, was found. Do you have human intelligence still working in Gaza? It's unbelievable that this, 9 months into the war, the IDF would still have human intelligence sources able to give them this kind of information.
Yeah, it's actually not the IDF per se. IDF does a lot of signal intelligence and comms intelligence, and this is actually the ISA or the Shabak, Shin Bet. They handle human and they handle that type of intel, and I think they did a terrific job here in providing it. And the tip of the spear was our elite police counterterrorism unit working together with the military and with the other agencies. And what you have is basically an interagency operation. All of the Israeli defense establishment was in on this operation. You can see the Air Force, and of course, the military was on the ground providing perimeter security and then helped to extract because they came under very heavy fire as they were leaving the very densely populated area of Nusirat. And as the hostages were being extracted, came under tremendous fire, RPG, heavy machine guns, grenade, etc. But the military was able to fend that off, and they were able to get them into safety into the helicopters and flown back to Israel.
I know that the IDF has a very highly specialized unit that is trained to be able to go undercover into Arab territories, into Gaza, into the West Bank, and mingle and mix into the population. Was that unit used? Because we do know that the soldiers were disguised as Palestinian civilians and even disguised as Hamas fighters.
Yes, the Fauda-like capabilities do definitely exist. Fauda is based on reality, of course, dramatized, but based on reality. And some of those capabilities were harnessed in this operation. I can't go into too many details, but yes, definitely those tools exist and they were used in this operation.
I just want to get your reaction to the fact that Noah, the female hostage, Argamani, I believe, was found being held in an apartment in which a prominent Palestinian doctor and a Palestinian journalist were living. They had to know, obviously, they're sharing this apartment with this hostage. There are armed Hamas fighters guarding this hostage in their living room. She's cooking. She reports that she was forced to clean for them, do that. I think everybody sort of assumed these hostages were being held in the tunnels beneath Gaza. The fact that 4 of them were being held in people's living rooms is pretty astounding.
It is astounding, and I know that many people in the US and in Europe struggle to understand how much of the civilian population is complicit with Hamas. And I know that people want to believe that Hamas is separate from the civilian population, but that isn't reality. And every day we get evidence that suggests exactly the opposite, that there is a tremendous support of the civilian population for all of the military activities that Hamas does. This is another such example. But, a few months ago, Israel was able to rescue 2 Israeli men from the southern city of Rafah. They were also held in civilian apartments, and they were also jailed and guarded by Palestinian civilians, not even Hamas families, not related to Hamas, but they were paid money, and they did that job for Hamas. And, most of the people who work for Hamas, in this case, around the houses where they were held, are civilian informants who roam the neighborhood and inform if anything is happening. So the whole issue of what is a civilian and how interconnected are civilians with Hamas military activity is something that I'm afraid most people don't want to have a good hard look at, but I think it's definitely warranted. And you know, one of the, as you said, one of them was a doctor, and the other one was a Palestinian journalist who has written bylines for Al Jazeera and written for the Palestinian Chronicles. And I'm sure that many of things that he has written has been sourced by Western media, perhaps more than once. And I think that also calls into question the veracity of a lot of the reporting coming out of Palestinian journalists. I'm not to say that everything that comes out of Palestinian reporters is a lie or is fabricated, but I'm saying that as we hear news from Gaza, we have to treat it with a lot of healthy skepticism because a jailer of Israeli civilians also doubled as a journalist.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.